Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left this evening, we're very happy to have with us again a very distinguished gentleman in show business who is also an author of a book called Treadmill to Oblivion, which is even funnier than that sounds. And here it is, Mr. Fred Allen.
Thank you, Dorothy. I knew that one of our books had gotten out to the public, and you have it. I'm certainly proud. On my left, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who has just been commenting about my haircut, who just told me that my head looks like an old pussy willow, Miss Arlene Francis.
You misunderstood. I said a young pussy willow.
Oh, I know.
And on my left, a gentleman whose book of humor, Good for a Laugh, has just come out in the Bantam. You see, you're not up to this yet.
No.
In the Bantam size, which is paperbacked, so that now you can have orchestra seat laughs for balcony seat prices. Mr. Bennett, sir.
Thank you, Arlene. When Pussy Willow Allen comes out with a new book, mine goes to 35 cents immediately. On my left, as you might suspect, is the only MC and news analyst who is considered vice presidential timber, John Charles Daly.
Timber!
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. It's Sunday night, and once again we've got some nice people who've come to visit us and brought with them some interesting occupations to give the panel a bit of trouble, and I think they're going to make it tonight. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later on. But now it's time for our experts to meet our first challenger whose line has to be spotted. Would you sign in, please, sir? Len Dobbins, right, sir? The Len, I presume, stands for Leonard, right?
That's right, John.
And where are you from, Mr. Dobbins?
Freeport, Long Island.
Freeport, Long Island. Well, that makes you practically a next-door neighbor. Well, there's a treadmill over there, not to oblivion. There's a treadmill to light over there. There are the 4 panel members who have to go to work on you, or you go to work on them, and they'd like to get a closer look at you. Will you go over and take a look at them?
Dobbins?
Hello, Mr. Dobbins.
Dobbin, always happy to meet somebody from Freeport.
You are?
I certainly am.
Come here, sit down, won't
It's
you?
uphill to New
And
York.
I think you probably know that the panel now gets one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's the kindly cop on the corner.
The kindly cop on the corner, Mr. Allen.
I think Mr. Dobbins is the man who let the air out of all of the Macy balloons after the parade.
Miss Francis.
I think with a name like Dobbin, that he's in charge of a horse and buggy stable.
Oh, no, Mr. Dobbins is not that. Mr. Cerf.
Coming from Freeport, I would say Mr. Dobbins runs a fishing yacht. Takes
No?
people out fishing.
Afraid not. Nobody had it. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Dobbins. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel's going to have to dig. All right, Mr. Dobbins, you know how we score this operation. We flip a card every time you give them a no.
I've watched it, John.
You all set?
I'm all set.
All right, Mr. Dobbins is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
You work for a profit-making organization, Mr. Dobbins?
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Dobbins, is your work then for some governmental agency of some kind?
No.
Municipal, state, or federal?
No.
No?
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is it for anything educational?
In a way. In a way.
Do you deal with both sexes?
No.
No, the work is directly concerned with one sex. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
I think Mr. Dobbins is unemployed. Is appearing here. He looks to, well, we have to determine which sex he performs these services. Is it for the male sex?
That's right.
You look like an outdoor man. Do you have an office where you perform these services?
I didn't get the question. An office?
To have an office? You perform indoors, in other words.
No.
That makes it...
You said he was an outdoor man.
Well, I know. I just wanted to beat myself to it. I mean,
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
I hate to do this, Fred, but you do work outdoors then, huh?
That's correct.
Do you wear anything other than the suit that you have on now in your job?
I do.
Would it be considered a uniform of some kind?
That's right.
And it's a uniform that has to do with some non-profit-making organization. Is your job municipal?
No, I would think we will withdraw the question, I believe, because the question was asked as to whether the employer in this instance was a governmental grouping of some kind, and the answer was in the negative.
Where were you?
You mean I was here when this went on? Well, now, you say you just deal with men. Are the men that you do, these men that you deal with, come in direct contact with you?
That's right.
Do you touch them in any way?
Sometimes.
Do you restrain them in any way?
Sometimes.
Are they unhappy to have you do that?
Yes and no.
How's it going, Mr. Dobbin?
Yes and no. Would you be connected with any kind of an institution?
Small conference.
I guess so. Qualified yes, I guess.
I would say this, that it's a qualified yes. We are reluctant to give you a no, although technically I believe we could. You may continue.
You could give me a no.
Yes, but we'll give you a qualified yes because of associations
Do you
that are
consider
involved.
a prison an institution?
Do I consider a prison an institution? Last time I was in one, I most certainly did.
is marriage an institution, too?
No, this does not count as an institution here.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to pass to Bennett and rest.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, Mr. Dobbins, you look like the athletic type to me. Would your work have anything to do with an athletic endeavor of any kind?
That's right.
Is it a game?
Yes.
Do you act as sort of a coach or a teacher of a game?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen, but congratulations, Bennett. You got on a track.
But you are connected with a sport.
That's right.
And there's something slightly educational about what you do.
Well, to a degree, yes. That, again, is a relative factor.
Is this a sport that could be played at any time of the year? Somewhere in the world?
Somewhere in the world. Here we go. Could be played somewhere in the world, yes.
And it's always fellows that you deal with. Are you some sort of a referee or umpire?
That's correct.
Oh, and that's why you restrain them.
Actually, now, what kind of umpire?
Well, prize fighting?
No, 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Well, it's outdoors. It must be football.
Football is right. Actually, I will say this to clarify the matter further. Mr. Dobbins has an avocation rather than an avocation, but in every football season, this is where he is very active. And he was active on Saturday at a little thing called the Army-Navy game.
Oh, really?
And that's
what
why
do
we
you do
thought
the rest of the time?
What do you do the rest of the time?
I'm in sales with the Anchor Slide Fastener Corporation.
Good for them.
Oh,
What a classy type.
we would have guessed that. We would have certainly got...
Mr. Dobbins, we gave him a rough time, and we owe you some thanks, sir, for being a most interesting guest. Thanks very much for coming. An umpire at yesterday's Army-Navy game. Now let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am? Betty? Betty Skelton. Nice to see you. Don't mind all that whistling. There's a high wind tonight, and we got a leaky roof, you know. It comes in that way. Miss Skelton, where are you from?
I'm from Cypress Gardens, Florida.
Cypress Gardens, Florida. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss. Well, now, Miss Skelton, the panel, I think, I know We'd like to get a closer look at you. Would you take a walk over there, please?
Miss Skelton, you're going to have lots of conferences with Mr. Daly. I can promise you that.
Hello, Miss Skelton.
Skelton, you are not Red's daughter by any
I'm
chance,
afraid
huh?
not. No, he won't claim it.
All right, Miss Skelton, over here now, if you will, and sit down next to me. And the panel will get one free guess as to what your line may be. And we'll begin those free guesses with Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think she's an aquaplane champion.
An aquaplane champion, Mr. Allen.
I would say, because of all of the whistling from the audience, that Miss Skelton is the president of the Lassie Fan Club.
Miss Francis.
I think Miss Skelton is in charge of a very attractive rendezvous in Cypress Gardens.
Mr. Cerf.
I think Miss Skelton swims underwater with a lot of those fancy paraphernalia on her.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Miss Betty Skelton. At the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. All right, Miss Skelton, you know how we score? Okay, fine. We're all ready to go. Miss Skelton is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Fred Allen.
You're taking a chance, John. Miss Skelton, since you come from Florida and you're not tanned, I assume that you work indoors.
No.
What happened to the sun in Florida?
Still there?
That's 1 down and 9 to go, and I would not put too much emphasis on the Florida, folks, because you remember I asked Miss Skelton where she was from, and she could take this as birthplace rather than present dwelling place. You know?
Well, she's going to be vague, then I'm going to give up.
All right, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
May I assume that Miss Skelton does not dress this way on her job?
Yes.
Is this a 9-to-5 job?
Yes.
Is it a job that many women have?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, Miss Skelton, to clear up any misunderstanding, do you do your work in or near Cypress Gardens?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is your job something that is more often done by men?
Yes.
Is it something at which you use your hands?
Yes.
Do you use your mind, too, I'm sure?
I should hope so, yes.
Is it, in any sense, a white-collar job?
Oh, well, I guess we have to have a
Conference.
No.
No. That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is there a product involved in what you do?
Yes.
There is a product. Is this a product that might conceivably be found in the house? Since it also is not
Yes.
tanned up, it's a white product, too.
Yes, you would find it in the house in a manner of speaking.
You mean it runs around and may get out of the house?
I won't give you a bit of help.
Huh?
I won't give you a bit of help, but I would qualify that yes.
Well, would it be found in one particular room rather than another in the house?
Yes.
Would it be found in the kitchen?
Hardly.
No. 5 down and 5 to go,
Well, I'm
Miss Francis.
trying, John. I'm trying.
You're doing great, Fred. You're doing great.
Is this product that you're involved with a useful product?
Yes.
Is it a product that is owned by many people?
Yes.
Is it a necessary product?
In our world today, it might be described as necessary. We've come to depend on it to such a degree that I think it takes on the coloration of a necessity.
Do you feel that, John? Good. You say that it might be found in the house, but you said that with a little indetermination so that one would expect that it could also be found out of doors?
Yes.
Would it be more likely to be found out of doors?
Yes.
Is it larger than a bread box? Thank you, Steve Allen.
Yes, it is.
It is. Does it have any moving parts?
Yes.
Is it inanimate?
Yes.
Is it made of metal?
Yes.
Is it fun?
I think so.
It
Yes?
can be. Mm-hmm.
Could you sit on it if you wanted to?
Yes.
Could anybody sit on it with you?
Yes.
Would that be nice?
Oh, I think so, yes.
is there any product other than metal involved in the makeup of this particular product?
Yes, there is.
Is the cloth involved in any way?
Well, yes.
Is its primary use something to sit or lie upon?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, and I'm going to give you 1 more minute to see
Miss
if you can
Skelton,
get
I have a feeling that this thing is used somehow or other for transportation in one way or another, is it?
You're so right.
Well, it has a motor in it.
That's right.
Does it run on the land?
Yes.
Is it some kind of an automobile?
Yes,
Yes.
I believe it is.
It is. Now all you have to do is to tell us what it is Miss Skelton does with an automobile.
Well, maybe she greases them.
Greases them? No. 11 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Didn't you say this would be found in the house?
Well, in a garage.
In a manner of speaking, remember?
Garage.
I was hoping you would go for that.
She tests automobiles.
Right! Actually, Miss Skelton is a test driver. I believe it's for Dodge, is it not?
You're so right,
Test
Dr.
driver
Arlene.
for Dodge. And by the way, she holds the woman's stock car world record at what speed?
143.44 miles an hour.
Woo!
I
That's
want to
right.
drive
But I must say, congratulations, panel. It was a real tough one, and you nailed it. You all did a good job on that. And Miss Skelton, thank you. Hope you had fun. It was nice to have you with us. Very good to see. And by the way, Miss Skelton has asked me to say that she is going to give her winnings here to a polio ward out in, I believe it's... We come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My colleagues have blindfolds, and they're all in place, are they, panel?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Good. Will
sir.
you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Bennett, Cerf.
Well, I didn't hear any whistling in the audience, so I'm going to presume that our mystery guest... No, it's too late. I'm going to presume that our mystery guest is a man. Is that correct?
You may assume that, sir.
Husky. Probably from Washington. Are you a thespian?
An
actor.
Oh, yes, thespian, yes, I beg your pardon, I forgot to...
You are.
Thespian, yes, sir.
Would you be familiar along Hollywood and Vine?
With whom?
Would you be a familiar figure in Hollywood?
Do you mean standing on street corners?
No,
or-
I mean acting in studio.
Yes, sir, yes,
You are a moving picture actor.
well,
Have
yes.
you also appeared in legitimate? Now,
But certainly, yes.
You have. Would you call yourself a star?
Well, this I think requires that I move in because we would not have our guests seem immodest. Yes.
Are you at all known for riding around on motorcycles and wearing dungarees?
It's a very unfortunate question, and the answer is no.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, would you say that you had done more work on the stage than on the screen?
Miss Kilgallen, I would have to take pencil and paper to that. It would be very dull for all of us.
Well, I shall
But over the
test
years,
you.
I don't think it matters, and it's about 50-50.
At you?
I beg your
I
pardon,
beg your
sir?
pardon.
Do I get another shot at you?
Yes, you get another shot, since it's 6 up and a half a dozen down.
Oh, yes.
Would you describe yourself as a character man?
The day has come, yes.
Have you ever appeared in Shakespeare?
Yes.
Was there some reason why you were hesitant, or is that just to just part of the gag?
Well, it was a long time ago. And I wasn't very good.
Are you either in a play or in rehearsal now?
For a play?
Yeah.
Miss Kilgallen, no.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
You're not a character actor. You are an actor with no character.
No, what I just said was that the time had come where he would call himself a character actor.
I see. Well, something from his voice leads me to ask the question, were you born in this country?
Mr. Allen...
Give or take a state or two.
You could have phoned that in. No.
You were not born in this country.
No, you got a no, Fred. Sorry. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
You asked that question the wrong way, Fred.
I know it. I answer all the questions the wrong way.
Part of your charm. You were born, perhaps, in the British Isles somewhere?
Miss Francis, yes.
Quite. You silly little thing, of course I love you. That's why you sound to me like you were once a very romantic leading man, and I can't believe that you've gone into thinking you're a character actor now. But have you been a very important leading man, since you're so modest about your character acting?
I will say yes to that.
Would you be in the same genre as perhaps, how about that, fellas? Genre.
Masculine genre.
As Ronald Coleman? Were you a prominent leading man at the same time he was?
Mr. Daly, take over, kindly.
Yes, I would say yes.
Did you play, for example, in pictures with, did you do a picture with Kay Francis many years ago, directed by, Ludwig, what was his name, that marvelous...
Von Beethoven.
Ludwig von Beethoven. Well, shall I say, are you tall and thin? You were.
Tall,
and you used to be thin? What? Less thin?
Less thin, yes.
Than was.
Are you sort of brown-colored in the hair department?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are. Who's the director I'm thinking of? You know who he is. He died recently, and he was just brilliant. He did all those wonderful pictures with... Well, are you Herbert Marshall, or are you not?
Yes!
Lubitsch.
Lubitsch. We thought...
You did do a picture with Lubitsch.
Yes, indeed, yes. Herbert. The divine man.
And you were just wonderful, and you still are just wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
It's nothing.
I should say you are. Actually, Fred, could you answer a question? Did you have an idea that it was Herbert Marshall when you...
No, I didn't. I just thought it was some English gentleman with no character.
I'll settle for that.
An English gentleman he is.
I know. Well, you said no. I asked you if he was born not in this country.
Did you?
I sure did.
You mean you got
I don't want to make any trouble, you understand. I'm very happy to do that.
Wait, but I still got my witness here,
I'll
Fred.
make up the $35.
I'm sorry.
No, I think that was my fault, Fred. If it was messed up, I messed it up. And you can
Well,
strike...
that's not like you, John.
Gee, thanks, Fred. That's awful nice.
Mr. Marshall double-crossed us. He's the first English actor who ever talked like an Englishman.
That was all part of the game.
That was one of the plans, yes.
May I say, sir, that it was a joy to have you with us, and thanks very much for being our guest on What's My Line. Miss Dorothy, I guess you're going back to Cleveland to cover the Shepherd case again, so once again, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night and good reporting, Dorothy.
Thank you, John. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy. Good night, Arlene.
Good night, Fred. Good night, Bennett.
That was Ernst Lubitsch you were
I
thinking
know
of, you know?
it.
Good night, John.
Good night, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Trotman production in association with the CBS Television Network.